it is not as far, the dream is not as far away from you as you make it seem. Welcome to Unfiltered Yaps, the podcast where we show up for ourselves and each other. I'm your host, Shanae, and as always, we're going to keep it honest, keep it messy, and keep it real. Today, we're going to be talking about the fear of the unknown, really talking about how the fear of imperfection and visibility and vulnerability keeps us from doing a lot of the things that we've always wanted to do. This week, I asked you guys, if fear wasn't an obstacle right now, what would you be doing? And the answers, I really felt them all so hard. Like, they were so good. I got a lot of I'd quit my job and just rest, which I feel that so hard. I got a lot of move to Europe. Someone wanted to fly jets and helicopters and airplanes. If there wasn't an obstacle, what would you be doing right now? I'd go back to school and become the doctor I always wanted to be. That resonated with me because a piece of me also starting this podcast was because I wanted to go back to school to be a therapist. Not that I'm using this podcast to therapize, that's a word, right? Therapize anyone or myself. Um but I think I've had a lot of real life experiences that people can relate to, and so, you know, this podcast was born. But seeing people wanting to, doing something currently and then wanting to pivot to something, I don't want to say as drastic, but like as huge as being a doctor. And the person also mentioned like money as an obstacle, but like, yeah, like being a doctor is a huge deal, and like having fear stop you from that because you've already lived a life, I really can relate to, because I've also let money and some of that fear stop me from pursuing a um degree so that way I can be a therapist. Like, I already have a degree. I'm working in a completely different field, and yeah, I let fear stop me from pivoting. Like, yes, money, um, but fear more so than the money, because if I really put my best foot forward, I would 100% find, like, I'd make it happen. Like, I'd find a way. Um, so yeah, like I felt that one. Some other ones that we got was, if fear wasn't an obstacle, what would you be doing right now? I'd be going camping, backpacking, or doing more outdoor stuff in general. I think a lot of times we have a hobby that we want to get into that would bring us joy, and we let fear talk us out of those joys. I got a lot of, I'd be making content if fear wasn't an obstacle. And I feel that, which kind of leads me also into like my personal story about fear being an obstacle for me. And the way that manifested in my life is really this podcast. I've tried to start so many podcasts. I've had podcasts with my friends, like with multiple different friends, like multiple different groups of friends. I've tried to start my own solo podcast before, but one, the fear of recording content. I don't know how y'all be doing it out in the streets, making y'all little TikToks, and I wish I could do that, but the fear of being perceived stops me from doing a lot of things. Um, and I think in seeing these responses for me, I realized that as a society, one, we all just want to be safe. And the unknown is unsafe. But at the same time, you don't know what's on the other side of that. And again, I wanted to be a therapist. I still kind of want to be a therapist. And right now that's not realistic for me. And so I'm trying to find another avenue to pursue my passions. And it's this podcast is putting two things that I love together and making it work for me. And that's mental health and running my mouth. And, you know, it was just so disheartening for me. It's so easy to be on the other side and be like, oh, you want to fly a plane, you want to fly helicopters, do it. Go to school. Like my brain was like, oh, all you have to do is XYZ to make that thing happen for you. Like it is not as far, the dream is not as far away from you as you make it seem. And seeing all the responses and not trying to, I wasn't responding to people like giving them solutions of like, oh, just do this, because I get that it's also not that easy. But in seeing the responses, I was really just like, we stop ourselves so much all the time. And sometimes you just have to just do the thing. And so with this podcast, I am very much a perfectionist. And my perfectionism stops me from doing something because I don't want to do something wrong. And going into this, I was like, there is no right or wrong. You just have to do it. And like, you get better over time. You learn things over time. No podcast, like the podcast that I listen to, that I enjoy, if I go back to their episode one, baby, like, and no shade, no shade. But like, when I go back to their episode one, it's like you see the growth. And that is the core of like what this podcast is about, is seeing our growths, meeting ourselves where we are, and not feeling like because we don't have control, because we can't align the stars for ourselves, that like we won't enjoy whatever it is that we want to do. Like so many people said traveling, and let me tell y'all, now this was 2 years ago now, at this point 2 or 3 years ago. I I went to Europe by myself, and I was shooketh the entire time. Like the entire time I was planning, I was so scared of not necessarily traveling by myself, because I travel by myself a bunch of places. I live in New York, and so like, I do stuff in New York by myself. I take myself out. But going to a completely different country alone is crazy. And I was so afraid of doing that, of really, I don't know, like it wasn't, it was like irrational fear. Like I wasn't afraid that I was gonna like get kidnapped or something. It was just like, this is a very scary thing to do, to go somewhere you don't know by yourself for days and have to take care of yourself in a foreign land. And the day I got to the airport, I checked in, I checked my bag, I went to my gate, I sat down. I was waiting to like shit myself. I was waiting for the realization to hit me that I was going to another country. And it really never came. Like I got on the plane, I thought I was gonna I thought when I got on the plane that I would like hyperventilate and be so shook about going to, and it just never happened. Like I was so at peace. I was so comfortable. I checked into my hotel, loved it. Like I had a really good experience. I did something that I'd never done before, and it turned out fine. And that is kind of how I feel about this podcast. Like it's going to work out. Like it's okay to be scared. It's okay to not know everything. Prepare as best as you can, you know, which I did for my trip. I made my itinerary. I was like, hey, you do this day, this, that, and the third. And the rest will fall in line. And so, with that said, fear is always going to be there. Fear, anxiety, it is trying to protect you. I don't know if y'all seen Inside Out, but y'all seen when anxiety was on that keyboard. And sometimes you have to find a chair to put her in because that fear is always going to be there. That anxiety is always going to be there. But that doesn't have to stop you from doing the things that you want to do, from starting something meaningful, for bringing joy into your life. Like you, me, we are always just one step away from whatever it is that we are meant to be doing. Sometimes the only way you can get through the fear is by getting through it. Sometimes you can't wait for the confidence, like fake it till you make it. I know people say that, and I remember one time my very first job, I had like a manager say to me like, "Oh, you have to fake it till you make it," and I was like, "Oh, I ain't no fake it till I make it type of bitch." And why did I say that? I don't know. I was just saying anything. But like sometimes you really have to fake it till you make it, and the confidence will show up. I'm sitting in front of this camera right now for the first time, recording my first episode, and I feel like a weight is off my shoulder. Like I'm still afraid. This is going to be a crazy journey for me. I'm going to be doing a lot of things for the very first time. Some people might not like what the fuck I'm saying. Some people might not like me. And that is okay because I'm moving through my fear. I'm doing this afraid. And I think that is something we all just need to be okay. We need to be okay doing things afraid, because the more you can conquer your fears, the easier it will be for you to do new things, to try new things, to say yes to things that you would have, the past you would have said no to. Yeah, like you're allowed to be afraid, but don't let fear stop you. Don't let fear keep you from life, from experiences, from love, from joy. Like fear just wants to keep you safe, and that's okay. Like appreciate yourself, appreciate your brain for wanting to keep you safe, but don't let that stop you. um I have a quote here. It's by George Abdir. I hope I'm saying that right. And the quote is just, everything you want is on the other side of fear. And I feel that so much. Like everything that you could possibly want to do, every door that you want to open, every experience that you want to have is on the other side of fear. Fear has you in these uh, tunnel vision, black glasses. And if you can just navigate through that, push through that, and get to the other side, life is going to be so beautiful for you. It's going to be so beautiful for me. And I want us to experience that. So yeah, this is the part where I would have a listener letter. I don't have any listeners. This is episode 1. Okay. And so um instead I'm just gonna read a letter that I wrote to myself from future me, who has moved through her fear. Um okay. Dear me, you did it, girl. You started the thing that was scaring you the most, not because it was hard to do, but because it required you to feel fully seen. Your voice, your thoughts, your rhythm, the uncertainty of it all. And you showed up anyway. You said the first thing out loud, even when your voice shook. You recorded the episode, even when it didn't sound perfect. You edited out the doubt. You published it. You pressed share, and you didn't die. And the thing that felt like too much is now a part of your life. Not your whole life, but the part that belongs specifically to you. The part that doesn't shrink, the part that is yours, whether 3 people hear it or 3,000. You don't wait for validation or perfection. You move through the fear with your full chest and your full heart. And now you're here. because you had it all, not because you had it all figured out, but because you refused to keep waiting for the fear to leave first. And I am damn proud of you. So keep yapping, girl. The future you, from the future you, the one who pressed publish, the one who kept going. Um, yeah, y'all. um, I hope in the future, obviously, to like have actual letters, and the letters don't have to be like on topic with whatever topic it is of the week. But because I don't have an audience yet, I was able to write something that was on topic with what we are discussing this week. And so I want to leave you with this. Every episode, at the end of every episode, I will give you like a journal prompt or some type of affirmation. For journal prompts, you will be able to see my response on Substack. So make sure that you guys subscribe. And this week, the journal prompt is the question of the week. Since I didn't get answers from like my actual audience, this week you guys will be answering, if fear wasn't an obstacle, what would you be doing? And with that, we are at the end. Thank you for yapping with me. If this episode spoke to you, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, follow the page. You can follow the podcast at Unfiltered Yaps. You can follow me at Shanae's Got Yaps. Um, Everything will be in the notes or somewhere on the screen. I don't know. I haven't figured out. I haven't figured out editing yet. Please bear with me, guys. But yeah, please be sure to follow the page, and I hope you sit with this for a while. I hope you answer the journal prompt and really think about what fear is stopping you from doing, but not only how it's stopping you, how are you going to push through? How are you going to do it afraid? And yeah, I hope to see you guys back here next Tuesday. Thank you for joining me. Bye, guys.